Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quant VTF 53 Live, and if it's Tuesday, we're going to try and take a look at the wheels in motion, things that are actually moving, and this week is going to be a little bit less than your normal. It's been slow even for us. So, what we can do here, I want to start off here. One of the important things I talk about is time frame continuity, and what that means is when something is trading like the SPY is trading higher than it's open on the month, higher than it's open on the week, here, and look how tight that is. Daily, and then you time it back with the 60, all right, and stuff like that. We also use longer term charts, which you'll see, but the thing about it is that time frame continuity isn't just a matter of all the prices being above it. As time goes by, right, I want something to be bright green. I want this thing to really be moving. That tells me that the level of the buyers are aggressive. So for this week, if you look at the SPY, is it green? Yeah. Well, coming into Wednesday, it still could go. Anytime we have time frame continuity, we still could keep powering up. Just that right now, barely moving, and you see this here. So you are green on the month, all right, but it's the 14th, and we're slight here. It doesn't mean it can't pick up steam, but it's not ideally what we want to look for. You got a little bit more here in QQQ. Small cap is still inside. And Dow Jones Diamonds. Doji, almost dead, and an inside day, and look at this week. Here. And so as time goes by, you want to constantly look at that to make sure that you got things that are moving, right? Period, right? One of the problems a lot of people have is they don't look at charts past daily charts. Every once in a while, a weekly, but this is what helps you put yourself where you want to be, because we'll use the yearlies and quarterlies and monthlies to make sure we got stuff going. So at least for this week, not a mucho. What you do have is XRT, all right? And XRT coming up here, and XRT does this. XRT is inside month to the upside. Now, the problem is we're going into the highs. And so some people will say, why is that a problem? Exhaustion risk. Anybody who wants to be long may now be long, right? But we have a lot of earnings coming out. So that's pretty much this time of year when it does this. We're just focusing on trading the gaps in the morning period and then finding what best we can as the day goes on. But in this case, that tells us what sector we wanted to be in. XRT. And 1 second here. Hold on. Okay. So I'm making sure we got sound going on. Okay. So XRT retail. So that tells us we want to be in the retail sector. And so we can look at different things in here. Things that we don't want to be in. All right. So usual suspects might be like Ulta. But Ulta inside in the week and doing nothing. Now it still could break this thing and start going, but you're going to see the difference between something like RH here that's moving higher, and RH is also inside on the month and up, and so you can see this. We've got our rest. We've got this RH on the move again, and we know what RH can do. If you take a look at SIG monthly still would be inside. The good thing about this is it used to be somebody. It used to be way up there. So here, what we have here is you have the outside bar, inside bar, and now taking that out. So we're looking to take this out here, 62.92. Hasn't quite done it yet because the way we gauge magnitude is the outside bar. Once we start going here, so took out both sides of the range. That shows us a war zone. Then another consolidation. 3, 1, 2, and now coming after that. So we can keep looking at that. DG, you can see bright green on the week. All right, don't have the actionable signal, and you're coming up into here. But anytime you have these long green bars, we can continue to look for continuation patterns. Burlington Coat Factory, weekly, and you can see on the monthly here too. On the monthly, bright green. Now, once again, exhaustion risk, we're going into the highs. All right. But anything that's bright green, we can look for that weekly, daily 60 reconfirmation. KSS, that's an inside month and up, and that's also inside year and up. Once again, you're just coming towards exhaustion risk when you go into new highs. Duluth, the jeans. You can see here, potential up, sideways, measured move. And coming back up through all this stuff on the monthly. And you can see here's weekly how you get in on something like this. Remember that 3, the outside bar? That's a fractal broadening formation, and so you look for this. Outside, take out one side, boom. 2 down, 2 back up, and take that out. All right, so that's exactly what that did. And then if you go to the daily, the broadening formation would look like this. Here, this is what that fractal triangle looks like on that. And then you've got your 2, 2, 2, 2, and all the way back up. But we'll see now that's completed that. Abercrombie. Now, Abercrombie goes inside day and up and is 3, 1, 2 monther. The problem is exhaustion because you've taken all this out. The group that is moving, hey, we got the gold. Gold on the month, bright red. On the week, still going, and so you can go after this levered. You got the nugget, you got JDST here, perfect. See, that's been real nice in JDST. Yesterday was beautiful, and that's, you can see some nice movement in there. So you can look for stuff like that. RGLD, still waiting for this thing to heat up with all these things falling apart because it is 3-2 month to the downside. It's not doing it as yet, but you've got stuff like Newmont on the week. Here you go, Newmont, AEM, the usual suspects over there. Healthcare coming up too. Centene, CNC. Nice week, nice month, just exhaustion risk. Going into the highs would be the issue. And you've got Molina Health on the gap or holding for the month. And then inside week here, 3, 1, 2. So once again, exhaustion risk, we got a lot of that. Humana to a lesser extent, but it is on the month. Opened on the lows and still going. Aetna. Here, once again, just a lot of exhaustion risk, but by the things that are moving. You got Wynn Resorts coming in here. And Wynn, you can see that bright red month. Trying to go down. And you've got the weekly here, 3, 1, 2. You're just going into lower lows. Once again, even the volatility that we're finding might be blown out and will change as far as where we're going based on pretty much on the earnings of stuff that we're looking at this week. LVS, a little bit rough week, but it's just reconfirming the month. The red month taking all this stuff out. YY, it was a gapper today, but that keeps it bright red on the month and on the week. And you may not have seen this one before, though. I like to draw a lot of triangles. Sometimes they go right to the tick. Boom. So we'll see how that goes. NTES, and this is the one that's been great to gap and go, 240. And there's another $32 it took out since the opening up there. It's still bright red on the month, obviously. You're just going into the lower lows. And the good thing about something like this is you've got a month for it to reset. All right? What I mean by that, you could have corrective activity and then repuke later. All right? So you just don't forget about it. And it's also got the 3-2 week. The outside week downrange expansion, and it's still going for right now. NXPI, story stock always, and that's 3-2 on the weekly and goes to the tick of the triangle here. The question is, can it get through that? But you do have that 3-2 in force down there. PTLA, and just taking out that week, and you can see what, not much of a gap or little gapper and go, and you can see that month. So when you see something like that, there's almost no way that month's going green. And so anytime you can reconfirm that with the weekly and the daily and the 60, that's what you want to do. And there's your boy, puke. Amazon, exhaustion risk, but once again, another month just going. And you can see here how just if you wait for the inside months, it has them right there, never comes near them. So, but right now, just time from kind of the upside. Burritos on the month, trying to come up on this try here. So we'll see how that goes, but nice and bright green, more retail. Soda, and yeah, you might say, oh, it's run too much. You still have the whole month. It could come in and then reload, so you just want to be aware of something like that. You got PS, inside month into the upside here, and you can see that's a nice move so far. New issue, just going into the highs, exhaustion risk would be the issue. NUVA, Nuva, and that's a 3-2 monther, and you got this one has some more highs to go after, which is nice, but for today you just went into the recent highs, but you do have that week and upper here just taking out all this stuff. Price line booking. Ow. 3-2 weaker down. Inside month to the downside. Having all sorts of trouble here. So you can stay on that. Just exhaustion risk anytime you go into the lows. But once again, it sets up again. Go get it. IAC. IEC daily stalls out after quite the move, which you can understand. The fact here is that's bright green on the month. You just have to wait for the weeklies to recalibrate, set like that. Something like Match.com. Oops. Match, you can see that going inside week. Month is still green. Exhaustion. It took all that stuff out would be the issue. TTWO. Outside month to the outside and going into the highs. And this is important when you look at any stock to have, perspective on, what is it related to? Because you'd see something like EA not doing it, right? An ATVI not doing it. So your boy would be right now TTWO. And if it keeps going, you can keep an eye on them all together. You got FTNT, powerhouse moving into the highs there. You can watch something like the Cybers and stuff like that with all them. And you see Cyber monthly, see that? And Cyber's also year and up. XLP stuff, you got the Post. Nice bright green month. Exhaustion into the highs would be the risk. TJ Maxx, year and upper, and just green on the month again. And then for tomorrow, you're going to see that the 3-1er to see if they want to press that anymore. ESRX. And ESRX actually goes inside day to the upside. And you can see this monthly. They reversed them hard. 1 bar rev strat. Down? No. Now they're jamming them to the upside. So you can stay on that and see if they keep jamming them because they got them good down in here as you can see. Noah. Bright red puker. You can stay on that. Right? TWLO, and this is why you can't just look at the monthly charts and the weekly charts. You do have to look at them all. Otherwise, what you'll see here is that it was a gap, and you're going to need to disseminate that, right? So, and it's probably going to go inside week to do that. So you want to look at stuff like that. I know it's a shorter show tonight, but it is what it is. When you have the VIX this low, you've got the broader averages sitting there with this tight broadening formation business, and believe me, this will grow, right? And it'll get better. You just got to suck it up for a while. So when you see this beginning, this will grow and get a lot bigger. But for right now, it's summer trading. It's waiting on a lot of earnings. Futures have a slight bias to the upside, which we can respect. But any slight move would seem like a big move. Like if we went down into here, it would seem like a huge move, which it would not be. But everybody would freak out, and that's what happens when you get a low VIX environment. So that's going to do it for today. Keep it tight. Watch really going to stay on these gaps, and that's what we're doing in our VTF because we want to find the volatility. We know what to do, but for right now, what I just showed you is just an example of how we do it on the monthly and the weekly. But I do during the week, Monday through Thursday, I come on at 12:30 and talk about the halftime show, and that's where I'm showing you this time frame continuity on the day. Right, so some people get caught up in the vortex of the intraday chart, right? When on the daily you want to have these things right by halftime, you want to have bright red and green to go after and just look for continuations. It might continue, it might not, but that's what you want. Or as opposed to, you also want to be able to read something like a Tesla where people are trying to figure out what this thing's doing. You need to understand that when you see something like this, all of this is still within this bar. All right, it's all inside of this. Now, it doesn't say there's not movement in there, but you'll see them go down to shorter-term time frames trying to figure out what's up. When you go to those longer-term time frames, you get that better perspective. All right, so I wish I had more for you, but it is what it is. So, all right, I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant VTF here with the Wheels in Motion show. I'll either see you on the VTF, I'll see you at halftime, or see you when I see you. All right, have a good night, everybody.